Did we come up with any other topics?
No.
Cool.
I think we're just going to talk shit on cars.
Let's just wing it.
Yeah, we'll just wing it. Talk shit on cars. But
it's not like any of us have been working for weeks doing anything.
Oh, I'm doing nothing. I don't know what you're talking about.
But like on the front end, though, do need to mention that we're probably going to switch to posting every other week because it's proving to be a very busy summer already.
Yeah.
And we're struggling to keep up
with the weekly.
As far as posting goes.
Yep.
So yeah, we may be dialing it back a slight bit
just for right now.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Just to kind of get things back on track because we have a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of behind the scenes. I've got a lot of stuff. We have together a lot of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's just going to be easier to not have quite so much pressure for a little bit.
Yes.
I think that'll be good.
Yes. For the Campfire Passport Podcast.
Oh, you got me. Finally. It's been, this is like the third or fourth time we've done this. You finally got me.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Well, now I can hear the music playing.
Yeah.
So it's good.
Just in your head. Yeah. Okay.
Good. Okay, cool. Well, let's start this off then. This is going to be a just talking together show, just the three of us. It'll be fun. We don't have any main topic. We don't have any real topic, but our favorite new what's the word that I'm looking for? Segment. God. I'm just not used to TV is the thing, and that's a TV word, I think. I guess there's radio segments.
It's radio word, yeah.
All right, I'm not used to radio.
Yeah, we're not doing live radio yet.
That's right.
So, yeah.
Once we get on that FM dial, it'll be a lot different.
Yeah. Well, we'll probably be AM, but
yeah, probably.
Yeah.
I was thinking maybe we go straight to satellite radio. Get that, one of those Howard Stern.
Do the old
deals.
Howard Stern thing. Yeah. Good luck.
Anyways, this segment is share a vehicle with the class.
Mm-hmm.
Who wants to go first? Who's excited?
Well, I have two. Okay. So do you want me to start and then, how about I start and then finish?
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll start strong, finish strong.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. All right. So first things first. Let's see. What do I want to lay on you here for the first? I'll do this one first because it's kind of the fun one. Let's see. So
I'm just throwing this in the chat.
Yeah, I'm gonna throw it in the chat.
Man, if we were doing a live show where we had the ability for people to comment, it'd be fun to share the thing in the live chat. Let's put that on the whiteboard for future ideas.
I mean, that can be on the whiteboard for as long as you want, because we don't have enough people to listen live.
It only takes one, Colin.
Accomplish that. So
it only takes one.
I tried that even within just the group. And, no one showed up except for you that one time from Nevada or California, I should say.
I think it was in California. Yeah. This thing is awesome. So I actually shared this to everybody when it first came out because I was so stoked about it.
Mm-hmm.
It's another method feature, and they've been doing vehicle features for a little while.
Yeah.
But they do really good. Like, they have good stuff. And their photo guy, which I think probably did these photos too. I should check before I say that. But he does amazing photo work, which I saw on the last one. It is a 70, I would say 74, but I don't see. Well, yep, 74. Volkswagen thing.
Because this is a Volkswagen show.
Because this is a Volkswagen show, folks.
Yeah. I don't know
if
people have caught on to that or not yet, but
yeah, exactly. So Steve, you better figure out a Volkswagen to share. I'm just kidding.
Volkswagens only.
Yeah.
That's a tough one.
Yeah. But anyways, I can't say enough. I absolutely love it. It is the best thing that I've ever seen.
It's pretty sick. I mean, it is a Ultra 4 buggy essentially.
Yeah.
But it's a VW thing.
I mean, it's perfect.
The way they integrated the rear like coilovers into the body panel like that is so fucking rad.
Yeah, because that is the factory like air scoop thing for a thing, and it just it tucks in behind it. Very clever.
It's so rad. It's one of the coolest rigs I've imaginable, I'd say.
Yeah.
20-inch front travel, 21 rear.
Yeah. Look at those control arms. They're just fucking
big.
There's no center point. It's
the center point of
the
car is only like 6 inches wide. Like
it's
not
great.
even. It's 2 inches.
I want to see a video of this thing in action because it is. I mean, just in the pictures, it's cool. It's rowdy.
Yeah, you can tell it's rowdy.
Yeah, LS3. What I really like about it is they kept it. It's got a Volkswagen transaxle or like whatever.
That's a Mendiola.
Okay, yeah. So it's a Volkswagen style transaxle.
Volkswagen style, but it's like the best of the
one.
best. Yeah, it's crazy heavy duty. A lot of sandrail guys use those.
Yeah, and it is. Where's they going with that? Oh, it's wide 5 still, which I think is super cool. Right?
Is that just a custom transaxle, or is that from something?
It's designed off of.
I'm sorry, correction. Weddle.
Oh, it's a sequential box.
It's a Weddle. Yeah.
Huh.
Not a Mendiola. My bad.
Yeah, well,
but
similar.
Yeah, Wendell.
They're
Weddle.
They're designed similarly to the traditional Volkswagen case, but it's not exactly the same. Mm-hmm. I don't know that one though. I've never Weddel.
No EL, it's LE.
Okay.
Yeah.
A Wedley.
Weddle. It's a Weddle for sure. Wedley.
But also kind of cool that it's got some range. 23-gallon fuel tank.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I saw that.
That thing with what did it say, 600 and something horsepower. That thing is gonna go like almost 400 miles probably.
Yeah,
on a tank like that.
It only weighs 3,000 pounds.
Yeah,
sure. Yeah, that helps.
Like that is crazy.
I'd be curious. I mean, obviously this thing is built to be like the extreme of what you can do, but I don't know if it's necessarily built to race. Like I don't know if it's based around a class or anything, but it would be interesting to know what kind of like race pace, like range it would have.
Mm-hmm.
I don't. Oh no, it is like class 1 buggy pre-runner. Okay, yeah. So that's always an interesting thing. So like all these, I just watched Zach from Hoonigan, who is not part of that anymore. He has like his own YouTube channel. I can't remember Zach Martin is his name, or Martin's. Anyways, he just did a ride along with a young Baja racer and kind of showed like the process and like all the team and like all the pre-running and everything. The pre-runner rigs, like I think everybody kind of knows this, but they're wild. Like they're not really built to the same like class specifications as a lot of things. So they can be stuff like this that is just like, it's just meant for mashing through this terrain and being comfortable while doing it, being safe so you're not killing yourself when you're not racing, because that's important.
Yeah.
And and being able to just do it and bring people with you that you need and whatever. Like, so like I think that's where this probably exists. I would assume is something in that category where it's like this is probably somebody's toy, which is awesome.
Oh yeah,
like I'm super into that.
Total toy, yeah.
Mm-hmm. But if you needed like a function for it, I think that's probably the function that it has. I got to say, this is way cooler than any side by side, and it's kind of a side by side.
It's like an extreme side by side. Yeah.
And I mean it's 4 seats.
And it looks cool too.
It's great. Yeah, looks way less stupid than a 4-seat racer.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Steve.
Basically taking a buggy and then having a racer, basically a side by side with it, almost as far as the footprint goes.
Yeah, it's. I bet it's a little bigger than it looks too. I don't know. I mean, 35s. It's super.
Yeah, I mean it's 35. I mean things aren't huge vehicles, but it probably is overall a little bit bigger than we expect. Because I mean the LS hanging out the back of it is
that part. Yeah,
that's a good amount bigger than the Volkswagen engine that would have been in it. Plus that little cage deal. But I bet. I wish. Does it say?
It's got to be near about like a 4-door Jeep, probably. like a little bit longer.
I'd be curious about the wheelbase.
Yeah,
It's probably about right though.
That's what I was gonna say. Is like I'd love to see or hear what the wheelbase is, and also what the clearance is, because it's like just the perfect flat belly. Because it's a Volkswagen, so there's nothing underneath it.
I think it's a tube chassis.
Yeah, it is a tube chassis,
but still, yeah,
but
there's no
it's
tunnel.
it's totally flat bellied. So
yeah, very cool. That's A+ on that one, Colin.
Yeah. When you put it in, in our group chat, it was fun to kind of check it out, and it seemed like one that is cool enough that we should have discussed on air as well.
I'm into it.
Yeah, like this, so if people want to go and look at it, which they should want to after our rave review.
Yeah.
Some of the pictures on here are really cool, like the just flat slides where everything is leaned over, and the other shot of where it clearly had just landed from jumping, where it's like full squat. Just looks
sideways full squat.
Oh, just looks so gnarly.
So rad.
It is a cool thing to check out. There's no denying that thing. It's awesome.
I love it. All right, Steve, how are you going to follow that up? I took the pressure off myself by promoting you.
Right. I'll post it here in the.
I'm trying to see if I can find a video of this.
It is. Thing. I've followed this guy for a little bit, but he's got one of the coolest one-off builds that I've ever seen, because I don't ever see these out. But it's a little Zuzu Amigo.
Hell yeah!
That's Dana 44 swapped on Leafs.
Okay,
and the thing, it's just fucking rad.
I think I just saw something with this recently, maybe. No, maybe not. I was thinking that I saw it on the ACT clutch run thing, but maybe not. It's cool though.
ACT? Do you mean Center Force?
Center Force. Oh shoot!
Yeah.
Oops, sorry.
Wrong
everybody.
company, man.
Center Force clutch run. Oops.
Yeah, come on, dude.
This guy's got a Triumph too, by the way, so that's cool.
Oh yeah, there you go, Morgan.
I am a sucker for a Triumph chopper. That's the best kind. So
exactly.
Anyways, yes, it is awesome. I think that is very cool.
Yeah, you know what? He has a post on here. So just scrolling through his stuff, he's got a post on here about Dirt Every Day. I wonder if this guy was one of the dudes that is buddies with Dave and went and did like a wheelin' trip with Dave Chappelle, not the comedian.
Joke never gets old.
Yeah, a while back, and they did like a video, because Coral Canyon. That's what they went and did.
He was.
Yeah. This guy was there. So if you want to see video of it in action, go back through some of Dave's videos. He did like a trip to California to see some friends.
That's where I saw it.
And they did a couple of trails, and it like rained a little bit or whatever, but there was like a dude with a cool samurai there as well that's a good friend of his. But yeah, this guy was there with the Amigo. That's cool.
Yeah, that samurai is sweet too.
Yeah.
I don't know that I think I would have a samurai. One of these, I don't know if I'd seek it out, but they're still pretty cool.
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't seek it out, but I bet you could find one of these in unabashed quality, much more than you could a samurai. You're gonna find it. So if you can find one, because that soft top looks so cool.
That's the line that you kind of run with these kind of more, odd 4x4s. Is like you're gonna find ones that they're going to be cheaper than, say, the competition as far as like, a Shorty Montero or a Samurai, something like that, like in that kind of, size range type concept. But it's going to be harder to come by one in general, because there just aren't as many of them.
Yeah.
So, but they are a cool, weird platform. And there's a pretty decent, Isuzu contingent out there. As we know, some guys are just really into Isuzus and like the Vehicross, and things like that. And a lot of people that have a Vehicross seem to also have an Amigo, or a Trooper, or both, or So Isuzu people are pretty, diehard Isuzu people.
That's like when I show the Vehicross to like people that aren't car people, they're like, "Oh, that's disgusting." and
that thing is weird as hell.
Car people are like, "That's pretty fucking rad."
Yeah.
So and this is something that when I look at it, I'm like, "Oh, that really reminds me of those same similar body lines, but much more consumer based and not concept-y,
Yeah, well, yeah, because the Vehicross was basically like a direct concept to, street vehicle, where the Amigo was a like actual production level vehicle at one point, or Isuzu production level.
I mean, so was the Vehicross. They made plenty of them. It's not like there's only hundreds or anything.
I mean,
they just
not
retail
as many as there
in
are
fewer
Amigos.
countries than normal.
I wonder about that.
Are we Googling off that?
Vehicross. What's the word I'm looking for? Production number. Okay, let's see here. Should we trust Google's AI overview?
No.
Vehicross, fewer than 6,000 units across, so 5958 across the entire range. Okay. And then Amigo.
9,000.
Okay, I mean, closer than I thought. Not close, but closer than I thought.
Okay.
Well, 6 to 9. What's the year range? Nice.
Let's see.
4 to 20 years or so.
Yeah, let's see. Emails follows. Oh, no, that's not for that. This is just like a random thread. I'm not going to be able to find anything in this. It's like somebody's... It is on IzuzuPlanet.com.
Oh, my God.
Man. Production 95 to 97?
Really?
I mean, but that's of the...
Just
that generation, because there was 2 generations. There was like the more boxy one, and then there was like they kind of softened some of the corners for the later one.
I'm going to be honest, I barely remembered that the Amigo existed until just now.
Mm-hmm.
The Vehicross, however, 4-year run, believe it or not.
4 year, huh?
4 years. Pretty crazy.
Yeah.
And they actually sold some of them in Japan. I didn't know that.
Well, I mean, it's a small car, so sure. Why not, right?
Sure, I guess. Just weird. Yeah, very interesting. I don't know. There's got to be other weird vehicles like that. So one that always gets me if I see one is the Suzuki X90.
Mm-hmm.
I think we've had this conversation. I think that's my weird, other than the RAV4, the first gen RAV4, that's my weird.
89 to 2004.
Okay. So long stretch.
Yeah. And like I said,
not a high success rate, but long stretch.
The first gen and a second gen. And then, was there? No. Yeah, just a first and a second gen. So, yeah. Anyway.
Interesting. Now I'm going to look at this. So, Suzuki X90, which, I mean, come on. Body on frame, front engine, 4-wheel drive, weird little thing.
Mm-hmm.
Made for 2 years.
Yeah, I can picture it in my head. I mean,
7,200 of these things were imported into the U.S. I think there's a chance that you could find one pretty easy then.
Well, yeah, or at least as easy as an Amigo.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, sure.
All right. Well, not to take the heat off of Dave here and his rad Amigo. One quick note. Looks like he's done a podcast or two. I wonder if he wants to come on here and talk about his car.
Oh, wow.
That might be something to think about.
Yeah.
Well, Dave, if you hear this, holler at us.
If you're a secret listener.
Yeah, we might want to talk to you.
To the Volkswagen podcast.
Could sharpen us up on Amigo knowledge. Cause I know so much more about Xteras after having Connor on here, so that I just didn't know.
Well, Steve and I could also probably pull in. His name is escaping me now.
Dung Beetle?
Yeah. the
Yeah.
guy with the Vehicross that came
Oh yeah.
with us on the 4-wheeler trip.
Yeah.
And he's a serious Isuzu
It's a guy.
head.
All
Yeah.
right.
He would be a good person to pull in on a podcast, actually.
Yeah.
All right.
So we can always reach out
All right. Works for me.
for him as well. Yeah.
Cool.
Maybe we get two Isuzu guys. That might be
Not on one podcast.
Yeah, on the same podcast.
No.
That could
Whoa.
I don't know.
cause some implosions of some
Don't want to
kind.
cross the
Yeah, well,
streams.
it's going to be amazing if anybody has an Isuzu question in the middle. Like, what are they going to do? Because those guys aren't going to be available.
Yeah, that's fair. That's
No.
fair.
Okay. Well, I can share mine.
Yeah,
I'm going to do the same thing that Steve did. I'm just going to drop this guy's Instagram username. This is Jerry D. Dang.
Jerry Dang.
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 And Jerry has my if I won the lottery dream car.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a Volkswagen, but it's kind of like a Volkswagen. And you're going to immediately click on it and go, oh, yep. So ever since I saw, I'll explain what it is here in 1 second. Ever since I saw the Top Gear where Richard Hammond drove a signal green 997 GT3 RS 911.
So it is a Volkswagen podcast.
Exactly. That has been my dream car. But that color, that car specifically,
Mm-hmm.
I just love it.
That is a good green. I do
It's the
really
best.
like that green.
That's pretty fucking
And
rad.
I've always kind of thought to myself, when they went through a stretch of a little bit of time where they were not like super sought after, just like a lot of cars, right? And they were never cheap, but they were like a price point that was like not like winning the lottery money. It was like being successful money was just fine. Now they're winning the lottery money. They're big money.
Yeah.
But this guy got one and did the thing that I'd always thought of, which is it'd be really cool, just like anything, to lower that and put some wheels on it. Like that's it. You don't need to do anything else. It looks perfect otherwise. And he put BBS E88s, I think they are, on there, and dropped it down a little bit, and it is perfection. There's nothing wrong with it. I love it. I love every bit of it. It is definitely my favorite.
Well, it appears that he had a Carrera S before that.
Yep, saw that. Pretty good too.
That unfortunately it's red, but did end up with Meisters.
Yep.
Which is always a good choice because reasons. But yeah, it looks like he probably used that as his stepping stone
Springboard.
to.
Yeah, these are not super common either.
Yeah.
In general, and especially in specific colors, like you can find a black one or an orange one, I think, a little easier than a green one. But they're just so cool. They're so cool. They sound cool. They're just amazing. Oh yeah, and he did have almost I followed him on Instagram long ago now, and I saw this car, the red one, and I didn't quite put it together that he had the GT3 bumper and stuff on it. But it looks sweet too. Or it did. I don't know.
I mean, it might still.
Good for him if he's
Depends
got
on
both.
Who bought it? If that was the exchange made.
Yeah, I think it's fun. I've mentioned this at some point when we were talking about car stuff. I don't know if it was on the pod. It was definitely not on the podcast. Around the campfire, which we've had this conversation before. I think it's fun to see people that are like relevant to us in age maybe or style. There's like this little pocket of like enthusiasts that we maybe identify with because we all came from the same type of cars and style and things. And to watch some of those people get super successful or whatever and get into the bracket where they're buying these crazy cars,
right,
and doing the things that we would do to whatever, like a Mark IV GTI or something. Like this is really not that far off from somebody's
that's
Volkswagen build.
In that vein, it's the first person I think of is the Rotiform guys, and how they basically still are just buying total enthusiast cars and doing exactly what
same thing, same recipe,
like having an RS3 wagon and things like that, like that, or URS3, like that, like URS2, that shit, like stuff that I'm like, yep, That's exactly.
That's what I would do.
That's exactly right.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's been fun to see. That's something that I think it was probably happening when we were younger, and I didn't understand it. Like I remember specifically like when people were going from like Hondas to M3s, and I thought, whoa, like that's such a
That's-
brand new M3.
that's quite the
Holy
step.
crap, and they're putting JDM wheels on it or something, and I'd just be like, oh my god, this guy just put T's on his E46 M3, and it's like brand new.
Mm-hmm.
That was wild. And now it's a little bit more like you mentioned the Rotiform guys, like Brian's putting their wheels on his Dakar. Like, okay, that's pretty rad. Like, a little different, but
Well, I
but
mean,
still cool.
My favorite is when they don't put their own wheels.
That makes it even better
on them, because it's like yep. Thank you for proving that you have taste beyond
Of course.
your own company's
Yeah,
wheels.
you gotta be a little diverse there. Yeah, I think it's good. Steve, Steve, do you like Porsches?
I mean, yes, no. I mean, the 911 is the platform that I would like. Targas, the Panamera is one that I love the body lines of, but I guess it's a disaster as far as maintenance.
Yeah, they're. You know what? I've come around a little bit on Panameras, but I think overall they're built. They're not great. But two, I always just thought they were a little bit ugly. I like the Sport Turismo, the wagon Panamera, especially like the updated ones, not I guess the most current still, or the last little bit of them. They're really cool. But they're big and I don't know, not for me. But that's I think that it's a fine vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
We all know that
It's
I
a
like
fine automobile.
I like Cayennes, so there's
But that's like your dream car.
The green one, yes, absolutely. That is the car for me. Like if you held a gun to my head and said, make a choice, one car, I would just go, 997 GT3 RS, signal green.
I have to.
How lucky I would be to have a gun pulled on me for that. But
yeah. That's when having a gun pulled on you is worth it.
I'd say so in that scenario.
That scenario.
Yeah.
Probably only that scenario.
Probably. Yep. This is. I can hear Mike and Jesse and Tyson just yelling at this point.
I mean, I didn't know this was Dream Car.
Why? Because they've had guns pulled on them?
No, just because I'm sure they've got no one would ever do that.
You don't know that.
Yeah.
You can't say that for sure.
I don't know. Okay. Well, Steve, what'd you say about Dream Car just a second ago? I'm sorry. I heard that and then I started laughing.
Like, that's what you would choose as your dream car.
You're stuck on that. Yeah. I guess let's evolve that conversation. What's your dream car?
Like, if money is kind of like not an option.
So there's no limits.
Well, like Sean
one
said,
car.
If
dream
somebody
car.
pulled a gun on you and just pointed it right at your head and said, pick a car, pick your favorite car, or
just your favorite car. I like that.
You're gonna die.
I don't have a favorite.
Yeah, pick for your life.
I mean, a 510 wagon, straight up.
Okay. Yeah,
I would
respect that.
I posted one in there, but his color choice also is like fucking amazing. This guy does
do a
quite
copy
a bit
paste
of JDM
here.
builds.
Yeah.
So
Oh yeah.
It didn't hyperlink, but
that is great. I love these. I had a real. I really like 510s in general.
Yeah,
wagons are great.
Yeah,
but that like robin egg green though, for some like it's I don't know
color. It's like a pastel green color.
Yeah, it's so weird, but yeah, that's basically what I'd say that's my dream car.
Okay. You could probably get one of those. You could stop.
Yeah, I mean it's tangible dream, but it's like
Yeah.
it's expensive as far as the
yeah.
the
I mean,
reality.
and that is a car that you're probably going to have to build. You're probably not going to be able to find one that is the
No.
way that you would even kind of
No.
want it.
It would be a passion project dream more so than because it's not one that I would want to find like fully finished. Yes and no,
yeah, it'd be nice to do one the way you
because it wouldn't be
do it.
too hard. It wouldn't that wouldn't be impossible because it's not something that's completely untangible.
All right, Colin, gun to your head. What is it?
Your S2 wagon.
Yeah, okay. That's what I thought. Yeah, I probably could have answered that for myself.
Yeah.
Do you have, so mine is specific color. Do you have a specific color? Or do you just, whatever?
Probably blue. Probably that blue,
Like
that
the
look,
Nagoro?
yeah,
Or the,
Nagoro blue
Yeah.
that they do. Yeah.
It's pretty sweet.
I think that's the one.
Perfect.
Yeah, because definitely not red. I mean, they didn't do a ton of colors in those anyway.
No,
So
I wouldn't begin to guess what all of them are, but I don't think there's a ton. I feel like I've seen
silver, black, red, yellow, that blue. And
Is there like a burgundy color or something?
there's some white. There might be a burgundy.
I feel like I've seen one in burgundy, but it also could be like a, Belgium build or something that is like painted.
Yeah.
There's plenty of them that have been painted over the years, so for a car that there isn't that many of. But
Yeah, there
was-
isn't a ton of them, but that era of Audis is what like got me into Euro cars.
Yeah.
Specifically the 10 valve and 20 valve 5-cylinder turbo motors. Like they're
cool.
they're such good engines, and I fell in love, and it's still a problem today.
They are very cool. That car is awesome. I love that they have Porsche Cup wheels, and that just in Porsche pattern.
Mm-hmm.
That is just like the coolest thing ever. Yeah, I just all around good thing. All right, what are you gonna round us off on here?
Okay, so we're gonna round off. So I guess now that we've had our Volkswagen tangent,
We're gonna do another one.
we're gonna go back to Volkswagen.
Sorry, Steve.
Oh, you're good.
No, we are gonna loop back around, and this will probably make Sean happy.
Oh, I know what this is.
I was
Series and Camper Edition.
I was checking this out, and
What?
I saw it, and I was like, okay, so finally the U.S. is sort of coming around to this converting an SUV thing, like they do in Australia, all the time, chopping an SUV into either a ute or some sort of camper. I mean, this is full on, like this is a camper that
It totally
has,
blends like the Australian and US
and
style, where
US
they
style.
don't
yes.
put the door on the back. Thank fucking God. Put it on the side. Yes.
Yeah.
With the pop top, and not a cantilever style,
Yeah.
because it doesn't give you any foot room. Like, yeah, that's it. Like,
This thing is awesome.
that's the dream.
It's very, very balanced. I mean, I guess maybe we should.
We should probably tell people what we're looking at.
It's the Enduro Campers Toyota Land Cruiser. So it's a 200 series, right? 200 series Land Cruiser.
Yep.
That has been chopped into a 2-seater ute that has this Enduro campers. I don't know where it's coming from. I can't get rid of it. It's not on my, I don't know. There's sounds. Toyota, we're going places. Anyway, yeah, it's got this, what was it called again? Enduro campers, camper on it, which is apparently, it's a composite camper that has like a bunch of carbon, it's like got a carbon fiber frame and all this stuff. So it's like pretty, light considering. But yeah, it's a full, you could live in. There's a video on their website about it where the guy actually like walks through everything. And so I watched that doing this just because I was like, oh, okay, I'll check this out a little bit deeper. But yeah, I mean, it's pretty darn well thought out. There were a couple things that I was like, I would have done it differently if it were me, but I
don't like the pass through.
Well, I mean,
I love the idea of a pass through.
But look at how it's set up. It's really like you're not going to be able to step down.
It's
in
pretty
there.
tough to pass through, really.
Yeah,
I can't really. I'm not getting a clear
you'd have
look
to
at it.
swing kick your way into there.
Yeah. So there's like a bench that's behind the back seats, Sean,
Oh,
and that bench houses the water tank and the power system.
okay.
So, and it's like the bottom or the top of the bench is like probably shoulder height, a little lower than shoulder height on the front seats of the truck. So it's like, yeah, it'd be quite the watch to see somebody crawl through one way or the other with that. So it seems like an almost unnecessary pass.
It's a lot of work.
Like it doesn't need to be that. I mean, I guess
other than for some storage, but that's it.
Sure, it might be nice, like, you know, in a torrential downpour, you don't want to get out to get into the camper, you can crawl through. But I think other than that scenario, you're never using that.
Yeah.
Like ever, because it's just going to be a total nightmare hassle to crawl through there. But
if they did like electric pop-up or anything like that, I don't want those kind of things, because it's not hard to pop up something on fucking hydraulics. So like some of those things would be, it doesn't look like it. It looks like it's still just on hydraulics without motors. But.
Yeah, it's all manual. So the top itself is manual, and then the bed that folds upward and whatnot, that is also manual, just like on a gas shock type
I love
scenario.
they did fridge, like the drawer fridge, and I've seen those become a little bit more popular now with Land Cruisers and whatnot.
Yeah, so in the video, the guy mentioned one of their reasonings for using that, and it's like right in front of the door, is so that you could access the fridge from inside or outside, rather than having like a door on an upright fridge that opens to one direction, which then blocks being able to access it from one side. So it still seems a little restrictive to me. Like the fridge apparently is an 80 liter, but it does not look any bit of 80 liters when he opened it up in the video.
Yeah.
So I don't know, packing it may be difficult to utilize that 80 liters.
Yeah, it's tough because part of it is still in the fridge area once you pull it out. So it doesn't have like a full 100% pull out.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Because it has to hide the compressor at the back. So they're not super like space conservative, but they are as far as the opening requirement. You know, you don't have a vertical opening, so you can slide them in someplace or underneath, and putting it underneath the sink and then tying in all their 12 volt on that other side of it underneath the induction. Super clean. Like it's real space saving. There's not any waste of space in that entire area.
I have to mention really quick that the walk around video is 44 minutes long.
Yeah. Well, if you push play on it though, it skips to like midway where they actually talk about strictly the camper. Because I think the first half is like about the rig.
Yeah.
And then the next half is the camper itself. But yeah, like I said, there's a few things that I'm a little about. The vertical door, which the guy in the video like boasts about how great that is. Maybe I get the reasonings for it that he gives if you watch the video, which are things like it's not in your way when you open it, you know, and apparently because of the shape of the camper itself, a regular door is difficult to
take more space,
take that shape, you know.
Yeah.
But they've got a 270 awning on the side of the door, and it doesn't quite look like it can have both all the way open. Kind of the Tyson and his rear hatch and his.
You probably have to put a lock on them, because sometimes like, the hydraulics have a slide pin or a slide that you can.
You know, there's something that's a little off about that. But and initially when I was looking at it, I was like, the guy was talking about the tire mount, and I couldn't figure out what direction the tire swing out went. And if initially it looked like it went towards that door. I was like, well, why would you have the 270 awning on the side of the vehicle so that the swing out is then directly in the middle of your 270? That doesn't make sense. It's not a swing out. Why would it need to be a swing out? It doesn't. It's not a swing out. There's
It's
nothing
just a
in the
tire
back.
carrier.
Yeah, it's just literally just a tire carrier. And I was like struggling for the longest time. Like, God, why the fuck would you do it like that?
That's
no.
good.
It's because it doesn't swing out. It's just affixed.
I don't remember where I saw it, but I saw someone using one of those drawer fridges, not like this size, but like the half size one in the rig. And I was just Googling around to see. They're small. They're weird. I mean, maybe like, I don't know what you would do with it, but it's kind of cool. Packaging wise is very cool.
Mm-hmm.
But
I would like one in the back of my truck on top of my drawer system.
So you had two, like a food fridge and a drink fridge or something?
Drink fridge, 100%.
Yeah.
Or just, I mean, since I cook right there at my tailgate,
yeah,
having it right above there would be sick. It'd be really cool. I've also dreamed about stacking the ARB drawers up and then having full bed height on one side. But
yeah,
That's
the way Colin did his at first, right? I think in his Tacoma, I'm pretty sure that was stacked at first.
Yeah,
that sounds right. Yeah, because he had the fridge next to it, didn't he?
Yeah, I think that was it.
They were side by side because he had roll drawers, unless he bought different drawers.
I don't remember.
Because the ones he gave me are the roll top, so you can't stack them.
I think those were the ones that I didn't buy. They were supposed to be for me, I think. I don't remember. There's something that happened there. We were doing a bunch of horse trading and wheeling and deal.
Well, and he doesn't keep cars long enough for us to
try to
really get used to them. Of course, we could say that about a few people, but
sure.
We'll poke fun at him right now.
Yeah, exactly.
In this moment.
God, that reminded me of something. Oh no. Oh, I bet. So somebody turned me onto this YouTube channel, and I'm gonna tell you what it is because I think you guys would be interested. It's a little dry, but it is incredibly informative, and he did a thing that I think Steve would be very interested in. It is Tinkerer's Adventure. And this you've seen his stuff?
Yeah, I watched his
good.
about UCAs and fitment of 35s.
Okay.
He did a really good breakdown of
like Toyota IFS fitment.
Yeah, how to fuck up your steering components.
Nice.
Like by choosing the incorrect wheels.
Yeah.
I like these wheels, not looking at the offset.
Yeah.
Then needing spacers. And now you've got massive scrub angle and you're fucking hitting everything on your wheel well you can ever imagine.
Yeah. He's like a mechanical engineer. So
yeah, he's way engineer with it.
So he goes
wild.
like real deep. So the one I was going to mention Steve should watch is he did a whole series on electric camping essentially. So using like an inverter lithium box.
Mm-hmm.
And he showed like it's impressive how much you can actually run. He was kind of like the common misconception is you need a lot more than you actually need. And he showed why and how, and it's super interesting. He ran an induction cooktop, a like kettle, and a microwave off of a 1,000 watt-hour like lithium box, all in one. The only thing he did was he used a DC-DC fast charger that he installed so he could charge it in one like drive.
Right.
He also mentioned, spoiler alert if you watch the video, but you should still watch it. He also mentioned that if you sat in one spot for more than like a day, you probably would want to either have great solar or cycle it somehow.
Right.
But this is a guy that's not running a dual battery. He's only running a power pack.
A power pack, yeah.
So I thought that was pretty impressive because we've talked about this camping. Induction is something that really interests me. Like I just got a fancy new stove, which I'm stoked about, but aside from that, like I would love to not deal with wind. I would love to have instant on. Like I would like all those things.
The super low, like
yeah.
I don't know, cooking in general. If you like cooking on induction, it's it's so nice. Like frying an egg because you can get that perfect temperature. It doesn't change. It's static.
Yeah, propane
the problem
is pretty much
like when you want to like boil water, it's still grated. It does it real fast, but it's a pretty big suck on energy.
Mm.
So if you're going to boil water, it's easier to use a propane jet because
I wonder
that's
if
going
that's-
to, or a jet boil is going to be the most efficient. Or I mean, you also bought one of the most efficient butane/propane stoves on the market. So
Yeah. He does a thing where he's using a kettle, like an electric kettle, which is what I use for coffee at home.
those are 2,000 watts.
He's using like the one I use in my kitchen of this thing.
They're 2,000 watts.
That's insane.
They're insane.
So yeah, and I mean, mine boils water quick. I think it's getting older now, but he shows it's like dead even with a jet boil. So
Yeah.
that was pretty interesting. Anyways, worth a watch. The one though that I watched today that was interesting is he compared 285 75 17s versus 315 70 17s. So skinny tires versus wide tires,
Right.
in a variety of tread wear or like tread pattern tests. And I'll let you guys, I think you should watch it because it's kind of interesting. It's very interesting, actually. He tests one tire mainly. He uses the Mickey Thompson all-terrain. Tests it all through. And then he tests his BFG KM3. I'm just throwing my hands around here. His KM3 against it. And it shows like the difference in manufacturers. The only thing on his premise that I will say, without giving the whole outcome of it, because it's an interesting watch and you should check it out, is that he tested load range E tire only on an FJ, and I don't know if that really gave the best, like, I just don't think it gives the best image of what's actually happening, especially when you're really testing one tire. Like a load range E Mickey Thompson 35 in either one of those sizes is obviously a very stiff tire. So none of them are going to really flatten out well. And so he tests the BFG and it does better. It's different. It's still load range E as well, but it's just the tread pattern is, makes it a little bit different patch or contact patch. But it's super interesting information. I don't know if I think I agree with his overall assumption like his roundup at the end. And he goes through his reasoning for why he does what he does. And I'm like, yeah, okay, I think I agree with that. But in the middle, I kept going, man, like if you had a load range C tire or a D even, you'd probably be seeing a lot more tire flex, because one of his big points is that all three of the tires really, they don't really deflect on the tread very much until you get down to like under 10 PSI. And he's like, most people are never going to go down here. And I think he's totally right. Most aren't, especially most of his watchers, which are going to be overland people.
Yeah.
So they're, airing down to 20, right? Which I do all the time too on the gravel. And it's smoother. I think it's better. Obviously, I'm running a big tire with less load rating and a heavier vehicle, so there's that. But he's like, you're not seeing any tire or much tire deflection, so it's probably not actually doing that much for like grip to get down to that like 20.
Yeah.
So
it's just softening ride.
Exactly.
And that's it. Which is something that we talked about just before I was buying my last set of tires.
Yep.
Because there's also a lot of added inherent weight by getting a low range E, and it's like you don't necessarily need low range E if you're not full size truck that's towing on the regular. Like I don't really see the need in the overland space
for 3,200 pound a piece weight capacity.
Yeah, there really is not that need. Like you could easily get away with coming down to a D, like right in the middle. Everybody loves to come to the D. You go, shoot the gap if you're scared of a C rated tire, and I mean, just the weight alone difference there. You're talking, depending on size, but even like so in a 37, say, like which is what you and I and a handful of us others are running. There was 6-7 pounds a tire.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Like that adds up, and it's rotational weight, so it's easier on drivetrain and things like that too. So yeah, like there's, and then just imagine having to pick the fucking thing up and put it on.
Yeah,
if you got to take it off, like that 6 pounds is on a big awkward thing is a lot. So
yeah, absolutely.
They're already under like almost encroaching about 100 pounds depending on your wheel.
Oh yeah,
exactly.
Sure.
Yeah, it's already
like
heavy.
I have steel 16 on my spare,
Mhm.
and it's fucking heavy.
I bet. I mean, I think your point about like going to a C or D load range, like that is valid. Also, I don't want to be like the guy that says like pay attention to the stock things, but like pay attention to the load rating that is recommended for your vehicle, because that is what it's supposed to have. Unless you have that 200 series with the camper on it, for example. Sure, that's different.
Right,
You
yeah.
might want to run a bigger or like a more burly tire based on your weight. But there's not a ton of scenarios that you're going to go so far over that, GVRW or what, I always forget that. Whatever.
And how many people are running
gross
close
vehicle
to
weight.
their maximum PSI or within 5 of
Well,
their
that's the other
max
thing,
PSI?
right? Like you're not putting 80 pounds of pressure in that 315/70, which
Yeah.
is what it probably can handle. And you wouldn't do that. So why would you, but anyways. And I think that I'm assuming that this guy is smart enough, because he seems very in tune with what he's doing, that he understands that part of it. But I think his point might be that he's trying to play Mythbusters to the things that are actually out there, because that is a very common thing. People do that very commonly. I have sold hundreds of sets of tires based on that and tried to tell people not to. But,
Yeah.
it is their thing. And it is a thicker tire casing. Sure, it absolutely is. So is it more puncture resistant? Probably. I'd love to see a video on that.
Yeah, a true comparison of like what it's gonna
Yeah.
withstand.
Yeah. So I mean, it's just one of those things that always gets me, that mentality of like it's got to be the heaviest duty tire. It's
Yeah.
like, okay, well, yeah, maybe. I just don't think it's that big of a thing.
I mean, we've proven recently, in the past 2 years, a few of us have had load range C tires and
Everything's fine.
wheeled them, overlanded them, streeted them.
Yep.
Yeah.
All the different things.
No worse than anybody else's tire. Like nobody's gotten any more flat tires than
Nope.
than the next person.
Nope.
So
Yeah. It's all pretty much the same.
Mhm.
Speaking of tires,
Yeah.
You want to talk about yours?
my load range
Your
C
load range
tires.
C tires? So, Colin, we're all working on last minute projects, just furiously,
Mhm.
both probably angry and quickly working
Yeah.
through everything. And Colin sends me a text the other day. I'm working on my rig, and he says, "Hey, I'm going to be at the shop here for a long time. If you want to swing by and see it."
I said I'll be here all night. I think.
All night, yeah. So I went along my merry way and came down here at 8 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
and you were neck deep in installing AEV Highmark flares, right,
Mm-hmm.
on your Colorado.
Yep.
How'd that go?
It took a long time. I was here till midnight, which means that I was like on my feet working. So, cause I worked and then was working on my truck in between and then after hours for about 15 hours. My body did not take it as well as my truck's body did, even though I took the saw to my truck's body, which
Maybe you should cut yourself up a little bit.
that was a bit unsettling. I don't, we talked to Ryan with his ZR2 and how he, cut for 37s, when the truck was really new. And
Yeah.
I mean, this is the newest truck I've ever owned, so it was quite the feeling to cut away at my fenders and whatnot.
Yeah.
But once I got through one, I was like, okay, well, too late to do anything else now. I guess I just gonna have to keep going.
Yeah, Steve kind of recently did the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. My thought was, well, if all else fails, like if I fuck it all up terribly, long arm and wide body kit is going to happen
Get some
anyway.
glass
So,
for it.
so I mean, if I fuck it up, it's just more kind of excuse to eventually do that. But
Mhm.
I told Colin I was glad that he started on a front fender, because that was the most replaceable part he could have started with.
Yeah.
Heck, you could always get another front fender, I
Could
guess.
get another fender, but
and
yeah.
I'm surprised at how much edge trim will hide.
Oh, yeah.
You put edge trim on it that's nice. Wow.
looks great.
My wonky ass cuts don't
Yeah.
look so bad, which is
Well,
kind
'cause
of like
You can almost use a little bit of like the gap to like, oh, it's a little weird there. You just
flatten
press it
out a
up.
little.
Flat, just Picasso it in
Yeah.
there.
Uh-huh.
It's
Yeah,
looking
which
good.
I mean that's the same concept I used with my thought of using the AEV high mark flares was like, well, I can cut it pretty shittily
Mhm.
and the flare is going to hide whatever I cut
Yeah.
and kind of give it a more finished quote unquote look.
I mean, it looks great.
Yeah.
It looks like it's supposed to look like that. There's no,
Mm-hmm.
like, from when you drive up on it like I did today, I was just like, all right, looks good. Like, it just looks like it's supposed to be like that. I still think it looks like and obviously it does because of the company, but it looks like a mini Prospector XL to me.
Yeah.
Like, if you squint, it's got that same, like, and I think it's because your wheels are, like, you've got that space. It's a little more aggressive and it just looks beefy. I really like it. I've never thought aesthetically someone needed a snorkel, but I think you kind of do. Aesthetically. I don't think that you're ever going to use it otherwise. Some dust, I guess, or whatever, but man, it might look right because those trucks have made, like, that's the coolest snorkel application, I think.
Yeah.
Other
Is
than
the
maybe like
AEV
the
snorkel.
Stellar built,
The one on
200
his
one.
200 series.
Those
Yeah.
are pretty sick, but otherwise I do not like snorkels.
Yeah,
But, like, I don't know. Sounds cool. Waste of money, but
yeah.
your
That's
fender's already cut up, so who cares?
yeah.
Cut another
right,
hole in
yeah.
it.
Cool. What's another hole?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, overall, I think it turned out better than I thought that it would. Like, I kind of, knew what it would look like going into it, but it did turn out better than I thought, which is nice because, it's just nice to have it turn out better than you were thinking it was going to. But yeah, I other than how long it took and how I had to take the day off of work the next day because
Oh my god, you had to call in
body
sick?
said, yeah, my body said no,
Dang.
dude. Like my feet were killing me. My back was, a wrong cough away from being thrown out.
Yeah.
So I
Just keep moving slow.
So, and I hadn't eaten dinner either.
Yeah.
So I had gone, from a snack at lunch
Oh my god.
all the way to midnight with nothing but water. And I get home and I'm like, well, I can't go to bed fucking just a mess
Yeah.
from working on a truck all night. So I went and I grabbed a packet of Pop-Tarts and I went into the bathroom and I just sat on the toilet fully clothed, ate 2 Pop-Tarts, and
What
then
a
got in the
depressing
shower and went to
scene.
bed. Yeah, it was. I had to shake my head at myself, like wow, this is probably my saddest moment. Sitting on my toilet, fully clothed, eating a Pop-Tart.
No. No one has ever been more sad to put 37s on their stock vehicle.
Yeah, just oh my god. Ugh.
That's funny. You know what? I gotta
Shame, right?
I gotta
there.
retract my statement. I looked at the snorkel for those.
Mhm.
Doesn't
Not as good as
it
you
doesn't do it.
were
It
thinking
doesn't
in your
do
head.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
It's they're $500 too.
Yeah, well, yeah,
Not
that's cheap in the realm of AEV shit because do I let you in on how much the high mark flares were?
I can
Because
Google it
It
if
hurt.
you don't want to say it.
Yeah, 1,800.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
Well, remember when I
I
made
could
that?
have spent that in so many better.
You could have done a
places.
long trip. No, I'm just kidding. Huh.
Yeah, that was very frustrating.
And that's what you were trying to see if there was any angle you could work anywhere, and it just wasn't going to happen. Huh?
There isn't. Yeah,
That sucks.
they are the Apple of the aftermarket world.
Yeah.
Their price is their price.
Yep.
If you don't want to pay it, then
Don't
you're
buy
not
it.
going to get it.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah,
I mean,
hey,
they
we make
certainly give it like a finished stock, or
Exactly. Yeah. It's-
professional.
that
look,
was
I
the whole
guess.
thing. Was like I just wanted it to have a more finished look. If I'm going to have a truck that's this new,
Yeah.
I want it to have a more finished look. If it was a mid-90s Land Cruiser, I'd be like, whatever, just cut the fucking fenders out. It doesn't
There's-
matter.
There's
Break them
something
off one
about
at a time.
Fender flares when they have the bolts in them that I fucking can't stand, though.
Yes.
Not that it
Bushwhackers.
doesn't.
I agree.
It looks good.
Because it's because
I
of
go
that
straight
rash.
to those, and I just think bushwhacker
Yeah.
Yes,
drill on.
exactly.
fucking-
There was that rash
So,
of the
ugh.
bushwhackers that you would just drill on,
Mhm.
but they didn't actually open the well up anymore.
No.
It
No.
was just
big.
to go wider. And
You just hid
and
your
that's it.
rust with them. Come on.
Yeah.
I have seen that a few times. It's
And
great.
Just at least these, like the purpose of these, is to give a finished look to having a larger wheel arch opening. Like that's
I like the integrated lights too.
that's the reason. Oh, the ones I didn't put in. Okay,
Oh,
sorry.
You need to put those in.
I might. I don't know.
I will say, looking at it, that was the one thing I was like, oh, it's kind of unfinished.
Well, I'll put the light in, but
Just
not
put it-
wire it.
Yeah.
Just
Or just wire it because it's right there. If
yeah, I got cut wiring
No, you
and
don't.
all, and I hate wiring stuff.
That'll be easy.
You want to come over? And
Yeah, I was going to say, why don't you tap in one of your friends that doesn't hate that so much,
Okay.
and then
Yeah.
they can help you do it.
Okay. All right. Well,
I'm
There
not
you
saying
go.
me. I'm just saying one of your friends.
So pre-Rubicon, I need you to come down
All right.
and
yeah, I got nothing
wire
going on.
this. Yeah.
No big deal. What are you doing tomorrow?
Uh-huh. I'll be here.
Uh,
You
Man.
can work on my truck while Tyson works on your truck.
that sounds great.
How's that sound?
I still have a couple more things to do.
Yeah. Well,
It's-
as do I.
how are you doing, Steve? What do you have to do? Just
You took your bumper off.
I got to take care of my bumper tomorrow. I'm going over
Okay.
to Jesse's. My
sweet.
one didn't come in yet. I still haven't
Oh, geez.
heard. It finished, but I guess they had a delay with their CNC laser cutter and freight.
Oh,
It was
no.
delayed. Is what it is.
It's going to show up the day before we leave.
No, I'm going to pass it. Like
Uh-huh.
if they ship it, I'm going to have them ship it to Loon Lake.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. We'll do an
And-
install at the trailhead.
100%. I just need to rattle can it, and we're good to go.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll probably be passing it driving south.
Oh my god.
Is what it is. But other than that, I've basically finished everything I need to as far as I can.
Cool.
Okay.
Nice.
That must be nice.
I can't even imagine
Other
what
than-
that's going
other
to feel
than
like.
food,
right?
Other than making food for 18 people.
Oh,
Right.
hey, you
There's
know what?
that.
I was going to ask that off the podcast, but I'm going to ask now while we're thinking about it. What are you? I don't need a menu, but like, what are you planning on doing as far as what's your lift on food as far as during the camp trip? Are you trying to provide all the dinners, half the dinners? What are you doing?
What do you mean?
Well,
How much
so-
are you making? How much food do I need
Steve,
to bring?
what you're forgetting here is that he's not part of that group text
I don't-
because he's
Oh.
the man of honor.
I don't even know what I don't know at
so
this point.
yeah, so he has no clue as to what the full plans of the.
I'm
of the trip
going to
are
send
still.
you just a few pictures.
Are the pictures going to answer my question?
Yes.
Okay. Are you sure?
Yes.
Perfect. I'm in.
Yes.
That's great.
I'm using multiple people's fridges.
Basically,
I-
what
I-
you can
I
plan
think I've
on
got
is
a
bring
gallon.
drinks and snacks.
Okay.
Yeah. I've got like maybe a gallon and a half of chili.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Okay.
6.5 pounds of shawarma.
What
All
would be
right.
what would be hilarious is to show up with like a jerry can of chili.
That's a good idea.
Very overlandy, a roto pack full of fucking chili.
Maybe you could
This
do one of
thing's
the.
clogged. It doesn't work.
I was
That-
thinking.
that
This damn
stock
siphon
vent tube
doesn't
is
work.
Dog
I was
shit.
thinking like the like my water thing, the Dometic deal, and you could just faucet that
Just tap
stuff
it
out,
and-
or at least maybe some sour cream in one of those.
Oh yeah, there you go.